What's good, everyone? So in today's video, we're going to be going over my appointment setting manifesto, which has helped me book 1 to 2 calls every single day. And by the end of this video, my aim is for you to do the same for your coaching business, your consulting business, or your agency. Any B2B business that involves booking sales calls, this is going to work for you. And it's what I give to my clients. So you're in for a treat here. I'm going to be revealing everything. And we're going to go to the laptop. So once we start recording, voila, this is my appointment setting manifesto. If you want this as well, I want you to DM me on Instagram, which is @theMattJacob. My username is @theMattJacob. It's going to be in the description below. So if you want this for yourself, be sure to DM me and just say something like appointments. Just one word so I know you came from this video, okay? So, disclaimer, the teachings in this manifesto are very powerful and will result in more booked calls and sales opportunities. However, if you are here to serve clients to the best of your ability, if this is going to be used with malicious intent or for an offer that doesn't do the above, close this tab at once. Also, this manifesto will be updated frequently, so keep an eye out. So what I'm trying to say here is, you got to make sure your foundations are sorted. You're actually in here in this business to sell something that's beneficial and that your offer is really good and you're actually really good at what you do. If you're not, if you're an agency, at least have someone outsource your service so that the point is, right, your service works and it helps people. So let's start with Act 1. Appointment setting opportunities. So things that happen before the actual appointment setting actually happened before. So opportunities that you can create, there's many different ways. Now there's outbound, there's outreach, so cold email, cold call, and they all work. But in this video today, we're going to be focusing primarily on inbound, just because there's less friction for them to book a call. And, it just makes your life a lot easier. So inbound, for example, message responders, commenters, engagers. So anyone who follows you, comments on you, and it's just general courtesy. Like if someone likes your post or comments on your post, you should reach out to them and start a relationship, because without them, it's one less like, it's one less comment, it's one less chance to be pushed up by the algorithm and like getting your content out there. So you should thank them, just respond to them, and start a conversation. Engagement on your post in a Facebook group. For example, if your marketing strategy primarily focuses more on Facebook groups or just groups for that matter, then you can do the same thing. Anyone who likes, comments on your post in a Facebook group, reach out to them, say, just wanted to say thanks for liking my post in X group, and you should be good. Just start a conversation. Something I like is called a 2-step. So add value with a free resource, have people message you for the resource, take that convo and offer for a call. Note, some just want the resource. So for example, this is a free resource. I'm going to be giving it away to you as long as you DM me on Instagram. Something you can give away is free training. You could give away free resources, free trainings, free videos, guides, maybe even leaked content from your course. Anything to really add value up front so that they reach out to you and request for that resource. Now, the point again, as I said above, it's not to be used with malicious intent. It's not supposed to be manipulative in any way. If you can genuinely help them, and I will, for example, I will do a 2-step, and if this person is someone I genuinely can't help, then I won't offer to book a call. But most of the time, 90 to 95% of the time, the person actually qualifies for a call, and my qualification system is very low. Okay, as long as I like you, your attitude in the conversation, and you're at least considering entrepreneurship or in entrepreneurship already, then you're more than likely a good fit. But there's rarely any times when they will not be a good fit. Therefore, I'll reject them to not book a call and then just give them the resource anyway. But you'll benefit more from actually getting on the call instead of me just giving them a resource for them to only just let it sit in their files to never really use again. So the last thing here is a CTA/mission post. I should actually add as well a poll, because it goes back to the fact how you can run a poll. You can say something like, how many calls are you booking a week? And then have different answers: 0 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10 plus. And then whoever engages with that poll, you can reach out to them, start a conversation. So you see the point here. the overarching theme here is to just start conversations, just find opportunities to start conversations. As with the CTA, self-explanatory, call to action, you know, DM me such and such, or you know, yeah, or a mission post where you're like, I'm on a mission to help 3 entrepreneurs close at 40%, who's in. It's very cliche. You see a lot of these mission posts now, so you might not want to do it, but you can rephrase it in a different way if you want to. So these are some opportunities, and I may have missed some out because there's so many ways you can start conversations, okay? Inbound and outbound. Act 2, the foundations. Now, first things first, as I said, keep it genuine, keep it organic. Treat it as if you were talking to a good friend. You will massively increase your chances of getting them to actually open up and be open to booking a call with this frame of mind, rather than seeing them as a complete stranger. So you want to come in here and just treat it as if you're talking to a friend who happens to be in the field that you can help. They just happen to be in the coaching niche. They just happen to be wanting to, you know, get in shape if you're a fitness coach, okay? This is why we'll also focus more on guidelines/frameworks rather than a specific script. It's like dating. You wouldn't bring a script to a date night. No, you'd look stupid and the other person would likely get up and walk out. So at the end of the day here, you just want it to flow. Normal conversations, just slightly different. More business oriented, okay? So approach it with the right frame of mind is the second thing. So all appointment setting is finding and qualifying people who need and want help. It is not a sleazy business activity, forcing the prospect to do something against their will, or an act of manipulation, okay? You got to think of it from a doctor's mindset. You know, a doctor gets people to book in appointments, just like how we do as business owners. And the reason they get people to book in appointments is because they have medicine and people are sick. They have a problem and doctors are problem solvers. And the way they solve that problem with the mechanism they use is medicine, prescriptions. So the same thing here. They don't just force people to come in and book an appointment. Okay, there's an intention behind it. They need to see if you are the right, like, what are you struggling with, if you are the right fit for this prescription, and then if it's the right fit, they will offer you that prescription, okay? Nothing like these. Number 3, never be attached to one prospect/conversation. So this might contradict, it doesn't contradict this first point. It's a funny balance of, you know, keeping it genuine, being organic, and just being an all-around, like, a genuine person. But it's also a numbers game at the end of the day. You can't get too attached to one conversation, to one prospect, or that will ruin you. Just like last week. I'll tell you last week, I'll confess, right? I wasn't hitting my numbers. And then when I wasn't hitting my numbers, I wasn't getting enough conversations. And therefore, I started to slip in this scarcity mindset. In the fact that, oh, if I screw up all these conversations with people, then I'm not going to be booking calls for the week. Now, the way to fix this is to adopt this mindset of just not being attached. But the way you actually get that, and the practical way to get that, is just upping your quantity. Reach out to more people, start more conversations, even resort, if you're really down bad, then you have to resort to outbound. But that's like a last ditch resort for me. But this is much easier if you're upping your numbers and starting new conversations regularly. I'm talking about 20 to 50 per day plus. This was the biggest mistake I made when I was in the beginning, right? Now, granted, you'll naturally get more detached as you start booking more calls, signing more clients, getting more results. But you need to be okay with them walking away at any time, or leaving you in red in this case. If they do, who cares? They'll either continue to be nurtured by your profile or come back around. You can follow up, or they never speak to you again. Who cares? So you can't lose either way, because let's say they, you know, nurture the conversation with you and they actually end up booking a call. Cool. You got to book a call. Well, congrats. But if they leave you on red, at least you're still friends, or they still follow you, most likely. So what's going to happen is, if you're posting content frequently, you're growing your personal brand, they're going to continue to be nurtured by it. And then one day, this has happened countless of times, it's going to be the right fit. It's going to be the right time. Maybe that CTA that you put in your story just hit different, and it hit well with them. So then they come back around and want to work with you, or want to book a call with you, okay? Hold the frame, but talk to them as you would with a friend. So this means maintaining control of the conversation. That's what holding the frame is. Now, again, you don't want to be manipulative, just be intentional with where you should lead the convo, while keeping it pretty casual. The two most powerful ways to hold the frame is always being the one asking questions while ignoring their questions. So read the situation, for example, if they get persistent on asking you the question. So frame control just essentially means them falling into your line of thinking, them falling into your reality. And, you know, it's like dating again. You want to, if you're the guy, you want to be controlling the frame, not controlling, not being like a control freak, but you just be intentional and you know how to, you know, where it's going to lead, and you know how to get it to that end result. So holding the frame, but talk to them as you would with a friend. So always be the one asking questions. You barely want to talk, and you can even ignore questions. I know one of the people who mentored me on appointment setting, he loved like ignoring questions, and he'd book a ton of calls. Now, I don't agree with, I've tried this before and it's worked, but it just doesn't sit right with me. Like if they're asking me a question, they're being very persistent, and I want the conversation to flow, then I will answer some of their questions. But will I be super detailed about it? No, because then that gives them an opportunity to flip the frame, and now, you know, me falling into their frame, if that makes sense. And then that could lead to them pitching me instead of me pitching them. Try it and you'll have an easier time in the inbox. You want to think of it as you've been bowling, right? So if sometimes you can put the gutter, like the guardrails up, right? So that the bowling ball doesn't fall in the gutters as easily, or it never does. Think of it that way, okay? So if you want the bowling ball to go straight and get a strike, aka a booked call, but sometimes it will go left, it will go right, it might even fall in the gutter. That's why I have these guardrails up, so that it doesn't go too far, it doesn't fall in the gutter. You keep it centered, okay? Same with sales. If you watched, have you read, what's the name of the book? Way of the Wolf, I think it's called, by Jordan Belfort. I highly suggest you get that book, and it talks more about this frame control, straight line selling concept. Also, just treat it like you're chatting to a good friend who happens to be a great prospect you could help out. Don't take these too seriously. The best appointment setters hold the frame, but also treat the conversations this way and include their personality. Depends on the formality of your niche though. So what I mean by that is, I'm a young guy, and I'll have my own slang, I'll have my own lingo, and I'll sometimes incorporate this lingo into the conversations. Why? Because it just shows I'm human at the end of the day. And I'm not just some robotic appointment setter, you know, I'm a human, I've got lingo, I just include my personality in it. I don't take these too seriously, and nor should they. But when I talk about formality of your niche, let's say I was in the lawyer's niche, then I'd probably, you know, like ease up on the jets, on the burners of my like including lingo, because they're just more formal. Now, open-ended questions are 9 times out of 10 better than closed-ended questions. The closed-ended questions you want to reserve for, you know, towards when you know you can help them out and you can pitch them. That's where you need to be more direct. But open-ended questions at the start is a must. So if there's a way to ask a question open-endedly, I'll almost always do it this way. Open-ended questions give the prospect room to answer however they want, makes them more comfortable, and reveal more information, which you can then use as leverage, aka influence/power, later on for the pitch. So for example, what are you struggling with? Raises the red flags already. Instead, I'll ask something like, okay, how's the journey been so far? Because then they'll reveal the same sort of information, but I just asked it in a different way. That's more open-ended, and it gives them power of choice. Oh, it's been okay, but I've been struggling with blank. There we go. So if there's a way you can ask a closed-ended question in an open-ended question, as an open-ended question, then go for it. Already be providing insane value and have an optimized profile. So this goes to personal branding. So posting content goes a long way, even if you're just posting value once a day. So having a profile that makes it clear exactly who you can help and how you can help, as well as showing your personality, also goes a long way. I mean, just look at the top dogs in your niche. Think of like the 5 biggest people in your niche. Most likely they are putting value, consistent value out every single day or very routinely when you can expect it. And they don't just put bits and pieces, like little chunks and scraps. They put heaps of value out there, or they have been for a long time. That's why they're at the top of the food chain. It's that value exchange. What do they all have in common? They have 2 pillars above in place. So insane value, optimized profile. Number 7, track your numbers. Key metrics to track are number of people you messaged, number of conversations you started, number of links sent, number of calls booked, etc. I can go into more detail, but that's just going to confuse you now. So, for example, if you send 50 messages, you get 35 replies, conversations advanced, 6 are open to a call, so you send 6 links, and 5 end up booking. Now you know it takes 50 messages to book 5 calls. If your closing rate is 20% for a 2.5k offer and your goal is 10k a month, all you need is 20 calls a month. So close 4 clients at 2.5k, that's a 10k a month. Do the maths. It's really that simple. When you break it down, you just do the maths, and it actually makes your goal much more attainable. And we're going to get into the framework in a minute, just this last point before we get into this. It's no different to learning how to ride a bike. It's like any other skill. At the end of the day, appointment setting is a skill. And to master any skill, you have to give it time, consistent time and repetitions. Don't beat yourself up if you're not booking any calls in the beginning. Keep at it, track your numbers, and you'll master it in no time. It's just like sales, it's just like riding a bike, it's just like learning how to swim, it's just like learning how to cook, it's just like any other skill. So don't beat yourself up if in the first month you haven't been able to book many appointments. Unless you're lazy, then maybe beat yourself up. Now the framework, the bit that you've all been waiting for, it's going to be broken down into just simple phases. So you got the intro, rapport building, gaining leverage, and the pitch. Now I said I didn't want this to be a script, but I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice by not including like a real life example. So there's going to be a bit of a script, but my point is don't copy it word for word unless it's in the absolute right context and it makes sense. So intro is just finding your way into the conversation. So this goes back to appointment setting opportunities. Whatever you did earlier to create an opportunity, it's basically the intro, the opening. I should probably call this the opening, actually. Yeah, I like that. Can be almost anything. Thanking them for liking, commenting on a post, commonality, birthday, mutual friends, etc. Almost always end off with a question. Again, frame control. How's everything going? How are you? You're the one asking questions. So for example, take this example. Very simple. I use it all the time. And I'm genuine about it. Like, thank you for liking my post. I could even say like honestly means a lot. How's everything going on your end? Now, you got your way in, and rapport building is next. So be genuinely interested in the other prospect, like actually give a shit. This will help you stand out from 99% of other coaches and consultants who pitch straight away. Ask questions based on what they last said. Treat it like you're talking to a good friend. You should actually be building more and more rapport throughout the convo. And then I'll add something here as well. Spice, no, not spice, just sprinkle in your personality too. This is a big one. Too oftentimes I see appointment setters be so robotic about this, and then they wonder why they don't book any calls. Because you're not building rapport. People don't like you. They just know you. You're just most of the time you're talking to a stranger. They've never met you. They don't know you. So how do you expect them to gain enough trust and book in a call if you're just being a robot about it and just not taking this genuinely? So take these tips in mind. And then an example would be, they'll say, yeah, been great. What about you? Yeah, been great as well. Thanks for asking. Assuming you're in business as well. Curious because that's who my content mainly attracts. So that's awesome. Now you're going to be building rapport throughout the entire conversation. Okay. Not just this near the beginning part. Now gaining leverage is very simple. All leverage is having something the other person wants or doesn't have. So aka influence, power, authority. It's like if I had an ice cream and this kid on the street wants an ice cream, but I have one in my hand right now and he sees it, I've got leverage over this kid. So that's an example. In this case, the solution to their pain points or the ability to help them get to their desires. Business coach example. So for example, help them fix their low closing rate. Fitness coach example, helping them fix their binge eating problems or the ability to get them to 155 pounds and shredded. So pain points, yeah, your leverage here in your niche is having the solution to their pain points or the ability to get them to their desires. So pain points or desires, it's all it comes down to. While you're asking more questions and opening up more, the prospect will naturally tell you what their current situation is, current problems they're facing, desires, etc. Remember to keep it casual, non-salesy, and opt for open-ended questions so they don't feel like they're about to be sold to. Because when people get power of choice, then it doesn't feel like you have an agenda in mind and you're leading them towards somewhere. That's the power of open-ended questions. Yes, I'm a mindset coach, for example. Oh, awesome. How long have you been doing that for? About 4 months now. Love it. Still pretty new to the space. So rapport, how's the journey been getting started for you? And what I like to sprinkle in all the time, I should put, always validate them. Always validate first, then say your part. Your question, for example. What I mean by validation is like, love it, awesome, makes sense, I hear that, sounds good, sweet. Always do that. Like, pretty much always do that before you say your bit, because it just gives them positive encouragement, positive reinforcement to want to carry on the conversation with you, and then that's going to make it more likely that you get to the pitch. Whereas if you just ask questions, drill them with questions, they might even just get really pissed off at you. So you want to just soften the blow, just say you love it, just acknowledge what they're saying. People like to be heard. People love to be listened to. So love it, still pretty new to the space. How's the journey been getting started? It's been hard, to be honest, a lot of ups and downs, but I'm pushing through. Again, bearing in mind, not all conversations are going to be this easy. This is an example. As you do more reps, you're gonna get different types of people, and you're going to get different conversations that aren't going to be as easy as this, or maybe they will. So that's just the nature of it. Oh, okay, sorry to hear that. What's been hard about it so far? Honestly, trying to find clients. So 4 months now, trying to find clients. Gotcha. And how many clients have you been able to work with so far? None. Okay, right. And how many are you looking to finish off the month with? Aiming for 1 to 2 questions. Aiming for 1 to 2. That would be nice. You don't need to ask too many questions. You save that for the sales call. You only need to find 1 to 2 leverage points, bits of influence before moving to the pitch. Now you know they need you more than you need them, and you can actually help them out. You only need to find out where they are at the moment, where they're trying to get to, and why they haven't been able to get there yet. And then now everything up until this point to the pitch has been very casual, very non-confrontational. But when you get to the pitch, this is actually where people are scared. And there's no reason to be scared. People actually love it when you're direct with the pitch. You're direct, but you're casual. So with the pitch, you want to be casual, direct, and there are a few things you want to be true. That doesn't make sense. There are a few things you want before moving to the pitch. The prospect has engaged with you in a positive manner. If they aren't cordial and well-mannered, they likely won't be on the call. 2, you have applied leverage. For example, they've told you you've been trying to lose weight but failed, and you have mentioned or told them you have great success in helping people lose unwanted weight. This is a good mindset ahead of the call and secures your control in the chat. And this is someone you can work with. You don't want to pitch just anyone. Can you actually help this person? Make sure those 3 things are in place. And then if these are all true, or almost like 2 of them are true, and then the last one's a bit iffy, I think you can still go for the kill. There's a much higher chance they will hop on the call. And again, you can have all these things in place and still not book the call. So it's just the name of the game. Sell the meeting, not the offer, because the offer, where you sell the offer, is on the sales call. Sell the meeting, sell the chance to get on a one-on-one, 1-to-1. Once you found out 1 to 2 leverage points, pitch. Keep it casual but direct. Include how you can help them, why you can help them, how it's helped clients in the past, etc. Just anything to build authority, and just persuade them to actually take time out of their day to book a call with you. And at the end of the day, you're here to help. You're in the coaching, you're in the B2B business to help. I hope so. Pitching should make you feel good. Like that doctor. Doctor has medicine. He wants to prescribe people so that he cures people of that illness. So for example, yeah, you could say, honestly, get that a lot. Could genuinely help you out there. Just help one of my clients who's also in the mindset space sign his sixth client per month, 6th client this month. Happy to offer some insight. If you're open to it, just let me know. And the reason, you might have noticed, right, I am separating these lines a lot instead of sending one big paragraph. And the reason for that is because it's more realistic than just setting a whole paragraph. Prospect says, let's do it. They're open to it. They like what they heard. And then you say, sweet, what does your schedule look like this week or next week? Pretty open this Thursday. Honestly, cool if I just send over my calendar so you can just pop in an exact time that works for you. You go back and forth, send your calendar, get them to pop in a time. And this is a great line I like to use to just establish some urgency. Just say something like, okay, I'll be at my desk for another 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure you book in as soon as you see this, so I can confirm that you're booked. So I can confirm that you've locked in your slot and you haven't been double booked. Something like that, because what most people will do, they'll just, procrastinate on it. Little tip here, present it as a benefit to the prospect. That's probably why people hate pitching, is because they feel like they're low-key annoying the prospect, and you aren't. If you present it as a benefit to the prospect, not a burden, then the chances of you annoying them goes down to almost zero. So for example, sending your calendar helps them lock in a spot and save time instead of you just going back and forth. So it's actually a benefit to them. They save time and they get to lock in a spot for definite. I've had better luck personally, and this might not work for you, but personally I've had better luck when I never mention the word call. I just call it like a chat, for example, or anything other than call, and instead call it a quick one-to-one or insight. See example above. So yeah, that's the framework. Let's recap. Opening, get your way in, build rapport, gain leverage, and then the last thing is pitch. And just repeat that hundreds of times a day, thousands of times per week, and you will be an appointment setting Corleone, aka master. Now, here are some results that I've seen and I've helped people with. So personally, there's this one time I booked 9 calls organically in 72 hours. Now in a week, in the span of 3 days, I booked 9 calls. Another one, I went from 0 to 2 calls booked per week, even per month. It was that bad. Like, go back to June, July, August. I struggled to book 0 to 2 calls a month. I'd probably go a month without booking any calls, and then now it's turned to 1 to 2 calls booked every day on average. Jacob here, one of my friends, went from no calls to 3 calls booked as an appointment setter in just 3 hours after hopping off of a call with me. So we had a one-to-one call. Showed him what he was doing wrong, what he was doing right, what to do. And he was an appointment setter for another business owner in this niche. He's quite big. And he went weeks without booking a call because, well, it was partly because of procrastination, laziness, but also he just didn't know how to navigate the conversation. So helped him with that, seeing what he was doing. And literally just only 2 to 3 hours after getting off the call, he managed to book 3 in, it felt really good. Just how quickly things can change. Jaeger, for example, went from 0 to 1, even 0 to 2 calls for several weeks. And then the week after, helped him out. Now he booked 6 calls the consecutive week after that. And he wanted to sign 2 clients as a result. So everything I taught him, everything I showed, because he was also struggling with appointment setting. Now he's going to sign 2 clients since we've spoken. So about total 9K rev, 3.5K cash collected, and I think he signed a client like the other day, about 1 to 2K. So that's pretty cool as well. And then, I forgot to mention one more guy, Riyadh, a good friend, also struggling with booking calls. Especially back in March. Like he was only booking like 0 to 2 calls a week, if that, back in March. And then, we started working together, helping him out, and lo and behold, he's now gotten so many conversations, and he has the ability to book. He has the ability to book 1 call a day, but since his inbox is so full, he's actually gone and hired an appointment setter to help him with that. And now he's teaching the appointment setter how to book calls, and he's booking calls again, which is great. To now hiring an appointment. All the convos. One call a day. there we go. This is the appointment setting manifesto. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, enter this with the right frame of mind. Act 1, appointment setting opportunities, create opportunities, and then keep these foundations in mind, and then go into the inbox and, you know, book some appointments, book some sales calls with ease. You don't have to resort to paid ads anymore. Later on you can, but paid ads, you don't need to do anymore. Cold email, you don't really need to do anymore. You know the gist. Now, if you're struggling to book 3 to 10 sales calls every single week for your coaching or consulting business, schedule a one-to-one call down below, and let's see if we can help you get there. So the call link is also going to be in the description, and it's also going to be the pinned comment. So if you're really serious about getting your number of calls booked up per month, every single week as well, for your coaching consulting business, schedule a one-to-one. Let's see if I can help, and speak to you soon. Examples, okay, last thing. Examples will be added later, so keep an eye out. So when you ask for this worksheet, why is it? So now hiring an appointment setter, cool. So when you ask for this worksheet, just go to my Instagram, DM me the word appointments, so I know you came from this video and you want this worksheet. When you get this, okay, just keep an eye out, because I might be adding more examples in the future or more content in this, okay? Remember, this is something I give to clients behind my program, so you're very lucky to have this. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Really gave away the farm here, and if you don't pay me a dime, genuinely just hope you enjoy watching these videos and you get a ton of value out of it and it helps your business. So that'll be it for today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Appreciate you.